Alright, so today I'm back with another Blue Lock leak video, and today we will go over chapter 320, which is completely insane, like I'm not even kidding. I don't want to give it away too much. However, Blue Lock is going completely nuts in this chapter, as they are really cooking. But I don't want to say too much, so you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, before jumping into it, please leave a like and a comment, and with that out of the way, let's get into it. Also, if you want to check out the leaks for yourself, then I will put a link down in the comments where you can look at them. So we start this chapter off with seeing a kind of flashback into the changing rooms before the second half began. There we see ISAGI say that for the second half, they should change up the strategy and test out a new formation. After that, it's like the narrator talking, as it says that at halftime, they decide to switch tactics, always chasing that insatiable ego. Then back to ISAGI, who says that instead of pushing forward with the whole team like before, the plan is for Rin and him to break through the center, building off passes between them, so that the other Blue Lock members can score for their own goal, calling it a variation zero top system. And with that, we get back into the game, and we see that their plan is in full action as the Nigerian team can't believe what they are saying as they are stunned, saying that with the twin aces building up, the two of them are countering together. But with that, we also go to 30 days ago, and more specifically to Rin's training as we see him meditating, and the monk telling him to empty his mind and to imagine his heart becoming nothingness. After that, we get a close-up to Rin, who is just repeating what the old monk was saying. But then in his mind, two small images of Sei and ISAGI pops up. ISAGI says that he is the number one, while Sei calls him too weak. This makes Rin super furious as he says that there they are again. But just then, the monk hits him and tells him that he is wrong and that it's just delusion, telling him to be silence, correctness, and to have self-control. Rin just tells him that it hurts, but the monk doesn't care and just continues as he tells Rin to cast away his attachments, stare only into his true self within. Rin looks at him super annoyed but doesn't say anything to him. He then sees a pair of new silhouettes, still of ISAGI and Sei of course. But anyway, he says that because, without ISAGI, without Sei, there wouldn't be the me that exists now. If there really is such a thing as one's true self within, then the heart that he uncovered, bare and unfiltered from the depths of that impulse, is the desire to destroy ISAGI and Sei, to destroy himself even as he grasps glory, which can also be interpreted as a goal. Anyway, we get back to the match and see their tactics working flawlessly. And Rin says that anything that interferes with this instinct is nothing but delusion. He passes the ball to Bachira, who says that it's time to take another point. We then see Ego, who is watching this super intensely, going down, and in his head, he says that this is good, and that the uncut gemstones of talent to human instinct, football is hunting, and the striker is the heroic figure who delivers the fatal blow to the prey, and that is the absolute truth. After that, we saw Bachira taking a shot at the goal. However, it looks like Obo Abona saved it with his head. Ego then continues his little speech as the ball continues to roll, and he says that, in other words, on this grandest hunting ground in the world, the one who becomes the world's number one striker will be the one with the most fitting mentality. With that said, we see Hiyori taking a shot at the goal, which sadly the goalkeeper just saves, and the ball then falls to Chigiri, who also shoots it right towards the goal. However, Onatsi, in the last second, blocks it, which is such a shame, as a Chigiri goal would have been perfect. Anyway, now quickly back to Ego, who tells them all to try it and to test it, to see if their ego can reach the level of a hero. Hey, it's Natsu, mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? After that, we see Bello complimenting Onatsi's block, and another one on the Nigerian team says that if they can't win the second ball, then they won't be able to stop them. But we then see Rin staring closely at the ball while thinking about his brother, rival, and the world's number one. After that, he and ISAGI make a few passes to each other. Meanwhile, Rin continues his thinking as he says that this title to rule imposed by others, that's the real delusion, raises the purity of his desire, doesn't put the brakes on the urge to destroy, and turns this nature from random bursts of rampage into the default state. With that said, ISAGI then passes the ball to Bachira, who smirks and asks if they are going to move already, and calls them crazy. After that, we see Rin, who is really looking like a beast, as he has his rage aura around him, as he rushes ahead on the field, and thinks that to become the beast of destruction that doesn't need to stick out its tongue anymore. We then see both ISAGI and Onatsi looking at this, and Onatsi thinks that ISAGI and Rin, who had been focused on linking up until now, are suddenly aiming for their own goals. However, as he looks more closely at the field, he realizes that he is wrong, as in fact everyone's going for a goal, and he wonders where they are supposed to stop this. We then get back to Bachira, who looks super happy as he says that he can see it, a perfectly precise pass, which he is able to send off, even with Bello trying his hardest to stop him. Bachira sees the ball going and says that of course it's the double aces just as expected, who are both running to the ball. Then as ISAGI is completely locked in, and in his metavision mode, he says that the ball's trajectory is coming to him, and that he can shoot first, thinking that all of this is going just as planned. We then get into Rin, who has his predator eyes out, and thinks that it's wrong, and that if you bet everything on logic, reducing yourself to a mere tool for victory, then he'll bet Everarding on ecstasy, and this might be the most insane thing. But Rin crashes into ISAGI, kind of, to then spin on his back to try and get to the ball first. ISAGI is just in total shock. Meanwhile, Rin says that he is selling his soul to adrenaline. We also see the goat ego back on the bench, who asks Rin if he has reached it. Anyway, back to Rin, who tells himself to live as a hero, unafraid of death. And then, as he was, on top of ISAGI, he was able to shoot the ball first and got away with scoring the goal before ISAGI, but more importantly, making the score 3-0. However, ISAGI isn't sad. He's far from it, as he looks pumped up with a huge smirk as he calls Rin a freak and asks if his meaning is, if you're not a hero, then die. After that, we see Rin, who landed on the ground, and he tells himself to banish delusions and to open the eyes of instinct, which I don't know. It all just sounds kind of funny, and not to mention how insanely cool Rin looks as he says it. With that, however, the chapter has ended, and the next chapter will be called Relentless, which doesn't give us too much, as that's pretty much just a normal word. However, it might be something about how they did something relentlessly before this match. But let me know what you think about that title, and if you think that there's some sort of hidden meaning to it. Anyway, with that said, there's luckily no break next week, which I mean just always sounds wonderful. Anyway, now let's get into talking about this madness of a chapter. Now this game is going exactly like how I wanted it to, as Blue Lock is finally having their first true stomp game, with them destroying another team. Like Nigeria had their chance after the first half to redeem themselves, however as we know they couldn't do anything, and now Blue Lock is just destroying them. But this works so perfectly, as they will absolutely crush Nigeria now. After that, they will go into the England match with full confidence and then just barely win it, I believe. After that, they have won 2 matches in a row and will get absolutely crushed by France, and mainly Loki, who will just zoom past them and score a ton of goals on them. That's how I truly think that the group stages will play out, as it feels kind of obvious. But still, if they somehow does it different, then I would be so down for it, but that's my predictions. But honestly, I have seen some of you having your belief still high that Nigeria might be able to turn this match around, but come on, this is a 3-goal lead, and Blue Lock is going completely insane, and I highly doubt that they will stop this match with only 3 goals. However, with that said, I don't think that this match will be going on for that much longer, as if I'm perfectly honest, then I see it going on for about 3 chapters more, and max 5 chapters, as I don't see how they would be able to stretch it out anymore. However, if you ask me, then I'm so down for that as I just want to get into the England game so bad. Also, I just remembered that I haven't really spoken about the goal yet, but this is truly one of the most insane goals ever. It's like a combination of Rin's crash-out goal and Kaiser's bicycle kick in my opinion, as Kaiser was on top of someone else when he scored his goal if I remember correctly. So this is like a mix out of those. But honestly, this goal was so sick, and also I don't hate Rin getting it, as I like Rin. However, I do want our poster boy ISAGI to get a goal also, as that would be so sick. Also, let's praise Bachira a bit, as he got his 2nd assist right now. And he has been on total fire in this whole game, so yeah, he might even be the best player in this match so far. But let me know what you thought about this goal, and more importantly this whole chapter, what you liked or even what you disliked. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.